Hello everyone, can you hear us? Yes, then just type something in chat. Can you hear us? Or can you hear me for now? Ziggy writes yes, so I guess you can hear me, and I also have a guest with me. Everybody please say hello to Mr. Toggy.
Hello and welcome, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you, Meta, and I'm really looking forward to these games.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know what we are doing today, there was this contest running for about 1 year now called the AI Programming Contest. And the idea was that people were able to program their own PvP bots, which play PvP against each other. And they had time from, let me see, when did I make this post? January last year, so approximately 1 year. And we have 4 or 5 submissions which will play against each other today on the test server. And I'm excited to show you all of these games.
Yeah, even though I have absolutely no clue how to program this, I think 1 year might be enough to get a decent bot out there. So I'm really looking forward to the games. And obviously, we want to see which is the easiest to play with an AI, just to make some comparisons.
Yeah. And we had already a testing game earlier where Toggy played with only the tutorial deck against one of the bots, and the bot actually did pretty well against him.
Yeah, it turns out unupgraded Master Archers are really, really bad.
So we will see how this will turn out. So in the chat, I already posted the bracket earlier. I will just post it again. And there you can see that we have a total of 5 participants. The final one is a bit special. So our 4 main participants are Firebot, written by Ultralord. The second one is Xander AI, written by Xanderlord, or just Xander. The third one is Skylords Reborn, written by Architect, and CS Rushbot, written by, I don't know how you say that, Burger B, I don't know. And the fifth one, Rust Strategy, was one of the example bots written by Kubik, which actually tries out some strategies. And maybe if the timing is long enough today, then we will also see how this bot fares against the others.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We have 5 bots, so we will have a round robin tournament, I guess. And I really want to see, do they play different races? Do they apply different strategies? Is it all just smack the opponent in the face with a rush? Or do some bots even rush tier 2 and try to get to the, I don't know, to the borders of what's possible for private programming? Do they counter flying correctly? I'm really excited to see this.
Yeah, there's one limitation which the bot had to fulfill, or rather 2 limitations. The first of all matches will be played on the spectator map Elion. This made it just easier for the people participating, so they only had to prepare one map and not to write their bot to play on every map. And the second one, you were only allowed to pick cards out of the free PvP decks, so you won't see too many big surprises there. But there are still some flying cards in there, like Skyfire Drake, so let's see how people dealt with that.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there is no free PvP deck that has tier 4 cards in it, right?
I don't think so. I think even the Shadow ones only go to tier 3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that.
Maybe the Pure Frost one, but it's also no, only tier 3. So
That is perfectly fine. Tier 4 is already really wonky in player combat and on bot combat, which I would think tends to be over more quickly. I don't know. Because I have seen bot games in StarCraft, which is very entertaining due to different strategies, different handling of the units. But 11,000 APM only can you get you this far if your strategy is not really what it should be. So let's see if these bots are more lacking in the micro department, in the macro department, in the decision making, or if they're just always doing the same. Yeah, I really want to find that out.
Okay, so we still have a little bit left until the bots or the official part of the tournament starts. So first of all, big shoutouts to everyone who participated, everybody who sent in a bot. The all of the API and stuff for programming the bots will obviously stay available afterwards, so you can still continue working on your bots. Or if this tournament excites you and you want to try it out yourself, you can also just join the event Discord, which I'm going to show you here. This one, which I will also post a link in the chat. I think that should work. There, invite people and copy this invite link. Can you decrease volume for Toggy, please? I can do that, yeah. Toggy, can you say something again?
I apologize for my loud voice. I hope it will not burst your eardrums.
Okay, now you should be more where my level is, I think.
Yeah, give us feedback if it's still bad or if I have a more gentle voice now for you.
So if you go to this Discord link, you will join the event Discord. Okay, Kubik says it's better now. There you can find all of the info on how to run these bots, how to write your own bot, so in case you still want to do that. And also, since Kubik's already here, big shoutouts to him because he made all of the technical stuff possible, all the API to write the... Yes, Fairby, that's a talkie you here.
Hello, good sir. It's a pleasure to see you in the channel again.
Kubik provided all of the technical stuff that is required to program the bots and to run them. So big shoutouts to him as well. Okay, so now that that's done, I think we can already go into the game and start adding our first few bots to the mix. So, in round 1 we have 2 matchups. The first one we will be looking at Skylords Reborn versus the CS Rush bot. See how those work out. So currently this is all still very experimental. There's no UI for this in-game. So we have to do something like AI list to see all of the bots that are available. Then we do /AI add Skylords Reborn to position 1 with the deck Shadow Frost.
Ooh, the good old Lost Souls.
And then we also
that brings back memories. Not the best, but memories.
So CS Rush B. CS Rush B. The deck is just called D to position 4. Fair. I don't know. Like currently, there are no final plans on whether or which bots will be added to the final game. That's still far in the future. I can't tell you anything about that yet. Until now, we have all of these implementations, and we will see how we will go forward from there. But from now, it's just this tournament. For the future, we will see at some point.
Well, from the looks, just outside of the deck, we have Shadow Frost, or at least starting with a Dread Charger, versus a Nomad, which is already a little bit special. Normal PvP decks do not run the Nomad. It is occasionally used in anti-air defense on PvE maps, or in general due to its regeneration or damage capabilities, but on PvP I get excited to see this. Of course, with the regeneration and extremely good micro, which a bot might have, the regeneration ability might be good, but it might also be possible to just run it as one strong big attack. Already, it's very exciting to already see that the bots are deviating from standard strategy here. Yeah, very, very good comment from Lugger here. Is the Nomad in the free PvP decks? Because that was the allowed card pool, and I have to assure you, it probably
Oh,
is not.
let's take a look. I'm actually not entirely sure about that. This one only has fire in tier 2. It would probably be one of those decks. So we have the scavengers,
I
the
will help
shrines.
you double check, but yeah, it wasn't at least when I the last time checked, and yes, even though it's a standard card in PvE, it is
The,
very uncommon in PvP
the
due to
Wrecker
its
is there.
limited use and easy counters.
The Wrecker is there. The Nomad is technically not there.
I would say we watch the match anyway, and in case the Skylords Reborn team wants to disqualify the bot afterwards, that would be fine. But it would be lovely to see how
Yeah.
the Nomads perform.
Let's still see how this works. I mean, there's already Rush in the name, so let's see how much strategic variation there will be in there.
Yes. At least we see that there's a deck level of 120, so there are other cards in the deck.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
Yeah, Luga is correct. It's more disadvantage than
Yeah,
advantage,
right.
at least from our perspective, to have the Nomad in the deck. So let's see what kind of magic the CS Rush bot can cast.
Yeah, maybe in the end it turns out that all the time humans have been playing suboptimally, and the real meta would be to rush with nomads.
Yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing is, this happened several times that a card, without being changed, was completely overlooked and deemed worthless. And suddenly, months later, people figure it out, and it has to be nerfed because it was way too strong.
It was
The
with the strikers,
striker,
right?
for example. Exactly, Metacross, the strikers.
Like as soon as thugs got nerfed, people were like, "Hey, strikers also have the looter ability," and then they just found out strikers were really overpowered, so they also got nerfed.
Yeah, especially oppressive in the pure fire versus fire nature matchup where you essentially did not have a proper counter on tier 2 up until tier 3 against the wrecker.
Yeah,
Not the wrecker, sorry, the strikers.
right. I would say in the bracket we could already click on start the tournament,
Sure. Yeah,
and then
Cubic has a good point. I do not think we will see any other card from that bot than the Nomad. And yeah, if you play Nomads, you don't really have an end game plan. Usually you plan to win within the first few minutes due to sheer numbers. But I would be glad to be proven otherwise.
let's see what this bot will
I
do.
wonder if the bots are good at using spells, because I have seen, as I said before, StarCraft bots before, or Warcraft bots, but the correct usage of spells is always a little tricky, especially in Battleforge due to the rather complex economy system.
That's a good point. Like in the event Discord, some people were sharing some progress in the meantime while they were working on their bots, and I think one person showed some clips where their bots were casting eruptions or reacting to hurricanes. So maybe we
Ooh.
will see something of this, but I don't know if it made it into the final version of this bot.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but if we see good eruptions, I might get a little weak in the knees. Oh, okay. All right.
So it's now 1:58. Should we already start with the game or wait one more minute for final people to come in?
Get through eruptions, that would be the thing. Yeah, I think we are ready to start. You're, of course, the boss. I'm only the commentator here. But I'm just excited to see how the bot fares and how easily the nomads are countered. Of course, knowing that matchup, Fire versus Shadow Frost, I already fear for big problems coming from Mars Forsakens for these poor little nomads, but that's just how life goes.
Alright, then without further ado, first game, Skylords Reborn versus CS Rushbot. Let's go.
Oh yes, I am so excited. We will see a lion every time of the day, and please...
Oh no, my game just crashed. That was not planned.
Yeah. I'm still in, but the bots are not reacting, so I guess...
Yeah, that's because they are running on my PC locally.
You took them with you, yeah. Minor technical difficulties, everyone. But as said before, we tested at least some matches versus bots. They do work. Let's try this again.
Okay. Let's hope the next time it works.
Sure.
Alright, at least we could log back in. And open another game. Alien, Spectator. I think the issue is when the bots are already in, we are not allowed to change position or something like that. There was something crazy about that, I think.
We didn't.
I did, I think.
Oh, you did.
So
All
it
right.
was my bad. So it was Skylords Reborn. Let's restart
Yeah,
this
you
bot.
just add the bots again, and I will enlighten our audience with a little story from the early beta tournaments. You might say, "Oh, all the tournaments have been so stable, and this is something new. We didn't have crashes in ages." Let me tell you something. Technically, this is much better than the first tournaments, because there the game or the matchup servers were so broken still that you basically had to relog into the game, make a party in under 10 seconds and start the game, or the match would crash anyways. So that's a nice little blowback to the beginnings of competitive Skylords Reborn. Let's see if the level is a bit higher than we were at the beginning. Well, at least until High Tech and Radical and Hero came back and wiped the floor with us all, but yeah.
Alright, then.
Oh, sorry. I
Ready
need
up
to get ready
and
as well.
second try. Okay, this time it works. So in the north we have Skylords Reborn, starting with Shadow. And we actually do see a Nomad in the south.
And it is the Fire Affinity Nomad, so that guy is all offense, all damage. And immediately we see in the north that the Skylords Reborn is waiting to take the power well to not overcommit its power. That is already so advanced.
But here
How
comes
will
the
it
attack.
react?
It doesn't react at all.
Wow, it waited
Ooh.
until the last second to take the well. Now's the big question. Oh my
That's
god.
risky.
The Nomad bot is not reacting to that at all. It just straight goes to the monument.
Okay. So let's hope we see some Forsaken here, or otherwise. Okay.
Yeah, this looks like a destroyed monument to me, and respect to the rush bot perfectly assessing the situation. And just going ham.
Oh wow. Let's see. Will Skylords Reborn actually take another monument to be back in the game? Or will the time run out?
Or is he taking another power well? Yeah, he's taking another power. He can't even build units. Oh my god. Technically, he still had 2 wells.
3 wells.
3.
Okay.
Architect, you're a literal monster. This thing is unstoppable. And yeah, if the unit goes down, the game is over because he cannot summon anything.
But he could still build a monument. He has all of the positions, but I don't know if the creator actually considered
Correct,
that.
but no units. And even though he's 3 power wells ahead, it doesn't look that good for Skylords Reborn.
Yeah, that's probably one edge case which they didn't program in. What if your monument gets destroyed? But you could rebuild it.
And that's exactly what we said in the beginning, right? Micro, strategy, decision making. And the the Achilles heel of bots have always been, what do I do if the opponent does not play meta or standard but pulls shenanigans? And this is a pretty fairly well executed shenanigan in my book.
Okay, so
it is best of. They play 2 matches, right?
yeah. So then let's invite Toggy back. And in the second match, the positions will be switched. So now the CS Rush B will be in the top, and Skylords Reborn will be in the south.
So let's see if the terror reign of the nomads will continue, or if the Skylords Reborn bot will just build a wall.
Oh,
Because
Architect
melee units
said he
tier
wants to
1.
run an older version.
I think the submitted version stands tweaks during the tournament. It would be fun to see after the tournament if an older version would have won, but yes, during the tournament
that's
it's
a good point.
off limits, I guess.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
if he would have built a wall, then it would have been a different story.
Yeah, it turns out tier 1 units melee pretty bad versus walls. And we already see more Nomad spam from CS Rush B, which is, by the way, a pretty funny name because Rush B is basically what made the Counter-Strike map Dust famous. Yeah, or everyone who does not want to play any strategy but just want to smack people in the face.
And the thing is, it's even like a double entendre. It could be CS either for Counter-Strike or also for C# because it's written in C#.
Oh, but we see a difference now.
Now we see some
he
defense.
took a power well, but he's spamming Forsakens and he's immediately frenzying them.
Is
no,
he?
He's not. Never mind.
Okay. Oh no, one Forsakens actually. Oh no, it's a frenzy block. Now it could be frenzy.
Exactly. But as we said before, Forsakens make short work of Nomads. And now we got a game on our hands, which looks really good for Skylords Reborn being one well ahead.
But he has to make sure that there will probably be an endless stream of nomads coming to his main base. He has to make sure that he still somehow catches them.
I want to mention here that the bot is repairing the monument, so it won't go down that easily.
Is he repairing? Oh, he is repairing.
Yeah, because the strategy of CS Rush B is very obvious. It wants this monument. If it wouldn't have been repaired, this attack might have been fatal.
Mm-hmm. And the units looks like they are returning, and also some new Forsaken are coming in. And another attack on the monuments.
Oh, we're getting awfully close.
Already under 800 HP, under 500. Now it's an eruption range.
It's going to be so close.
2 more hits maybe. Oh, 99 HP.
Below 100, and with this it should have won because the time will be enough to get the majority of the juice up and running again, but this is more intense than I thought. Wait.
Yeah, I think the Skylords Reborn was actually one of the most elaborate spots in terms of strategy. If it if it plays against a different bot. Let's see.
Yeah, but there are 4 nomads coming. This monument is going down, and it didn't rebuild last game, so this might actually be successful now.
But maybe by now he has some trigger to actually go tier 2 or something. Because there's so many units.
Needs to do that quickly because that monument is toast.
And the monument falls again. Let's see if it rebuilds it or goes tier 2 or something.
Yeah, last game that was a problem, but the Forsaken should easily make game of these nomads. Even though he's resummoning nomads now, the tramples are accidental, I think. And yeah, without rebuilding an orb,
Ah, yeah. Architect said
the
in chat
terror
that...
reign of the nomads continues.
Ah, that's...
Yeah, it turns out nomads are pretty damn good.
Okay, that's a bit sad because in some other matches that I took like during testing with Skylords Reborn, it actually had some really good strategies, but maybe we will see them come to work in the next rounds.
Yeah, this is a round robin. The bot is not out. I would say GG's to the bot, and Rush V reigns supreme with the attack monument with the nomad strategy.
There are some glitches at the top of the stream at when the game is running, right? Ah, okay, yeah, I had that in the past before when I was trying to record something. I'm not sure how to actually fix this. Kubik, quick question. You said you don't really want your bot to participate in the game in the tournament properly, right? Because then I would postpone all of the games of the Rust strategy bot until the end. So we would skip this game and then go to the Firebot versus Xander AI. If that's okay for all of you.
Of course, the way we run the rounds doesn't really matter as long as we play them all.
All right.
So let's just get on with, oh, I have to leave the group, with the next match. And here we already see, of course, the limit of bots, which are obvious decision making. But I like how a straightforward strategy, well executed, can already be victorious.
Okay, here we have the Firebot, and the second one was Xander AI, I think. Xander AI with top deck. Xander AI top deck on position 4. Ooh. One has a
So,
Juggernaut and the other one a Wrecker. Is there
so
a
at
picture?
least they're both starting with fire.
Alright, then, second round. Firebot was Xander AI, let's go.
Yeah, let's see how they do. Fire tier 1 is something we have seen often enough.
Okay, both bots seem to work, and we see a Wrecker as first unit versus Scavengers.
Oh, in the south you already see that Xander AI summoned 2 scavengers, but 1 scavenger is now moving. Never mind.
Alright, maybe he actually wants to have 2 unit or 2 armies or something.
Uh,
And Xander are also switching from Scavengers to Wreckers.
And the wreckers are not attacking the units, but rather ignoring the scavenger.
Oh,
And it's going for the medium units. Interesting.
he's focusing the Wreckers first because the Scavengers deal less damage to him, probably.
Probably, but in the end, that meant that Xander just dominates this fight with more units, with better aggression, and Firebot is kinda running into its own death again.
Where is he running?
I think his ultimate goal was the monument, which is a good strategy, but fighting back also would be a decent strategy, I think.
Maybe he's trying to reach this Wrecker? Oh no, now he's attacking these up there. Okay.
It is reacting after all,
Oh, now
so
some
it's
Sunstriders.
improving.
Change of strategy. Sunstriders obviously get eaten by the Scavengers.
I think the problem is every unit summoned gets eaten alive by 6 fire units stacked on top of each other. You know what would be really good against that?
An Eruption?
An eruption, exactly.
Oh,
And here we see a
Xander
very
switching targets.
decisive push of Xander AI against the monument.
Let's see how the Firebot will react. Or if he will react.
in a normal PvP game, going straight for the monument, of course, is very risky because the monument can shoot back. And unless you actually kick it, repairing doesn't cost anything on the long term. So, but going straight for the monument on tier 1, of course, is a knockout punch in most cases. So Xander AI with good aggression and a combo of Wreckers and Scavengers probably taking that one.
Ultralord asked whether the bot has crashed. No, it did not. It's just switching strategies back and forth in the console. It says switch strategy from one to the next, back and forth. So maybe it hit some infinite loop. Or it's... Oh, now it's actually rebuilding the monument.
The first rebuilding monument that we see, not bad.
Does it come up though? If it does, and he manages to spawn some units, maybe some Wreckers, maybe some Sunstriders, there could be a comeback.
Fire units do have such a high DPS. If it gets up, it will be down in seconds.
And no, it does not go up.
And that marks the game. Xander AI taking the first one with an elaborate strategy of medium units versus small and versus medium.
I think I know what might have happened. Probably the bot only was programmed to rebuild the base once the entire base is destroyed, not just when the monument is destroyed, and so it waited until its own power wells were gone. Okay, so this is now 1-0 for Xander AI. But let's see how game 2 will go. Let's go back into the game and create another lobby.
Yeah, up until now, Fire 100% win rate. Not to send any messages here, but...
Maybe we should nerf Fire tier 1.
Maybe, absolutely. You know why they won? Because they didn't use the very underpowered and underused spell Eruption. Fairby asks if the bot can play on other maps as well. Answer is not yet. Oh, now we have a staring match. Let me just see if... Oh, but Firebot is starting in the south. I am worried about Xander AI though.
Is it still working? Looks like both bots are still running.
Not to spoil anything, but this used to be a utilized strategy on some maps, not a Lion though. I guess we have to remake because the bot is somewhat not reacting.
Yeah, looks like I have to restart the bots after every game. So let's just quickly do that, because otherwise it would be a bit unfair, I think. So
yes, of course.
Stop and rerun. And
we want to see sweat, we want to see brawling, we don't want to see somebody staring into the distance while getting eaten alive by a fire rush.
Okay, both bots have been restarted. Okay, and let's go back into the game. A Lion Spectator. And let's add back in Xander AI and Firebot.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen any walls yet, because walls are pretty good against AIs, right?
Yeah, I don't think we'll probably see some walls later on.
Alright. I don't think anyone has extra anti-wall strategy, like expanding on the map or ignoring that point and attack somewhere else. It might be a bit too elaborate for them, but maybe I'm mistaken. We haven't seen all the bots yet.
Okay, you still have to ready up?
I apologize.
Fairby asked if the bots can play on any maps. Some bots can, but for this tournament all the matches will be run on Alien Spectator, so the bots only had to be able to play this map. Other maps were optional. Now both bots are working again. And we again see Wrecker versus Scavenger.
And again, this the second scavenger is waiting, so at least this wasn't a bug the first time. It's just how the AI operates.
We again see a quick first power well for the Firebot. Xander AI doing some kind of split attack or a pincer attack. Let's see if Firebot has better micro this time.
He has more
Immediately
units
starts
out.
focusing on
And
units.
he's actually attacking, which means this fight is at least a very good start for Firebot.
Yeah, and those are 2 scavengers gone and all wreckers still alive. 1 wrecker staying in the back, probably to rebuild the army afterwards.
And yeah, Firebot looking a lot more convincing this time.
Oh, and we see the first tier 2 of the tournament.
And we see a wall for Xander AI.
Oh, it probably went into defense mode after losing so many units. Building a wall and some Sunstriders.
But help me out. How good are walls again against Fire Dancer?
I don't know if anybody uses Fire Dancers or any anti-wall strategies though. We'll have to see
We'll
about that.
find out soon. Because right now Firebot is not building any units, but taking the center, which is perfect strategy.
It's a really good move. Enforcer, what do we think about that unit?
Yeah, it wins against scavengers rather convincingly.
There we go, 2 hits and the scavenger is gone. And
so being up 2 power wells and an entire tier puts the Firebot, of course, in a marvelous position, but how is he handling the wall is the big question here.
let's see, the thing is he did spend 350 power to build all of these power wells and so on. Oh, there we see some Fire Dancers.
Here it is, the Fire Dancer.
Beanie
Yeah,
said,
Beanie Inhibitor, great to see you. I thought about just naming myself Firebot for this tournament, or not pure Firebot in reference of my old decks, but that wouldn't have been fair, right? So that's the defense for Xander AI, but that doesn't change the fact that he's down 2 power wells and an entire tier. He has to move out on the long run to win this game, and how is he doing that?
we will see. Oh, some Scythe Beans. Probably the bot said, oh, there are so many small units, I have to play a small counter.
Sadly, the small units are on a wall.
And for now, this first attack has been defended. Oh, but there are some more enforcers coming in. Taking apart the scavengers, but these Sunstriders keep on shooting. Giving the Firebot a hard time.
Yeah, in front of the wall, he can't really win a fight against the units, but he doesn't have to take that. The big question is, will we see tier 3 at one point? Will we see the Juggernaut actually coming in? Or will we just see him ramming its head against the wall until he succeeds? Because power wells run out. It just takes a very, very long time.
Oh, the wall is not being repaired.
Correct. The walls are not repaired, so he still has a lot of wall segments left, but those might run out at one day. And this push by Firebot looks a lot more convincing with a lot more units at least. So,
What you
let's
could
see
try
if he
is
can
take one of these power
manage to
wells
kill
and then
something here.
really put a siege against them, but I don't know if he programmed that in.
Yeah, more Fire Dancers joining the mix, and we have some long-range siege actually here. As long as the Fire Dancers are outside of the range of those archers, this wall will suffer, and it will suffer heavily.
Yeah, that's true. And we already see the first unit being knocked off the wall. But the Fire
Yeah, as I
Dancers don't
said,
really have a lot of focus fire. So
no.
no holes in the walls yet. But this one is dropping really low.
Yeah, I guess this match will go on until the entirety or the majority of the wall is gone, and then we will finally have a match again. But yeah, this is all going one direction. Firebot being ahead in economy and in tier level. This won't go on forever.
And there we saw some Scythe Beans actually putting in some work against the Sunstriders. And this one Fire Dancer just keeps on shooting.
Yeah, even though Xander AI is putting up a formidable defense now with different kinds of units, with walls, it is not repairing the wall, and of course, it doesn't really have a plan to. Oh, it is repairing the wall. Never mind, it just waited a bit.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is putting up quite the defense here, and I would say the trades are cost effective. If it would matter, because it is so far behind in the economy that it actually doesn't.
And this, I think, also dies. But there are some new ones coming in.
As said before, with the wall repairing, this can go on for a very, very long time. The power wells run out after 600 energy is taken out of them. Every point of energy takes 2 seconds. So after 1,200 seconds, which is quite some time, he will start to run dry slowly.
The question is, are the charges enough?
They regenerate, right?
Yeah, but at some point they only regenerate really slowly if you have played like 8 Fire Dancers or 20 Enforcers.
Oh yeah, I'm completely aware, but it's this slowly regeneration is still around only 20 seconds for tier 1 cards. Not entirely sure, which is okay, but you're right. Only having 3 cards in tier 1, 3 units, probably will mean that this would spell the end. Yeah, charges would be part of the economy, which of course would put Firebot ahead as well, since he has access to tier 1 and tier 2 cards, but we don't know, of course, if he would actually play tier 1 cards if the tier 2 stacks are running out.
The thing is, the Firebot is so far ahead in economy, he could probably just build a gigantic army and then rush in with it. But it seems like it is only slowly building the army mid-fight, which will make the units all be dazed.
Yeah, good observation. That is, of course, something that might be tweaked in future versions, but right now...
But here come 4 Enforcers, but this defense with the Sunstrider is obviously really strong. Maybe the Firebot would need a Juggernaut to break through that.
Oh, this already doesn't look too bad. At least it will break through some of the wall segments, but I don't see him winning the fight, actually. Because, as said before, archers on the wall, pretty damn good. All fire units are squishy, doesn't matter the tier. So, yeah. I guess this will take a while until the wells run out. Or the charges really delay resummoning. But he doesn't have to resummon the archers on the wall, right?
I think he does, but we will see about that once some of them die. Oh, and now we see thugs coming. Maybe the wreckers are out of charges?
Maybe.
And now, of course, the Scythians are the ideal counter against them. Much better than against the... but they have the gang up ability.
Oh my god. Oh, I would want to see a lava field so bad from Firebot, but I don't think it uses spells.
Lava field or wildfire would be great here.
Oh right, wildfire. A spell that basically relies on your opponent not microing might, of course, against bots be everything you need if they are unprogrammed to counter that. And now that's actually a pretty huge counterattack from Xander AI. Damn. Let's see how Firebot reacts, because he should have massive energy, but does he have the charges?
Xander guy not going for the center, but maybe
Oh,
either
is he
taking
going for the base?
either he's going for some monuments or he's also building up a power of his own. No, he's not.
All right, we go face. It needs to be a monument. The big question is, will he pass the first one, just straight run to the base one, or will he attack that one? All right, we are going ham.
Okay, he attacks here, but obviously not that many melee units can attack a monument at once. There's a limit to that. But the Scythe Fiends also just die now, really quickly. Let's see if the Firebot maybe plays a Skyfire Drake, which would obviously also be very good against them because they can't attack air units.
Yeah, but Fire AI is basically Firebot has stopped responding pretty much. I think it is cracked. Doesn't know how to respond anymore. And has Xander AI really done it after basically surrendering the map, giving up the middle, and losing every fight in the early game? Did he, with a wall and a switch to Mars thugs, really break Firebot?
Oh, there are some more Scythe Fiends. Yeah, Ultralord, the Firebot did do some switching of strategies. He once wanted to go to tier 3, apparently. Then he went to defense, and now he went to panic defense.
Oh my god. Oh my god, just look at the base. We have all the walls. What is going on?
This does not look intended.
Bots tend to over micro things, but this is putting it a bit too far, right?
One of them managed to land on top of there.
Which is already enough to win this fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, the good old panic defense.
because apparently the thugs all try to attack the same part of the wall and not split up that much.
Yeah, but this will take forever.
Yeah, but
They are splitting up the damage.
with the gang up ability, they will all die at once, I think. Because they share their HP.
Most of them. Because the one that have been summoned afterwards, of course, have more HP. But if this counterattack from Firebot comes, I don't see it being stopped.
If that many Sunstriders attack up here, like they have the defender's advantage, but still.
Alright, these strategies are a lot more
And there they all die.
sophisticated than I thought. Selling the wall again, and now we march. And in the north, Xander AI again has one squad of thugs, which is, of course, the correct unit. And we see an additional tier 2 in the middle.
Tier 2 being
And will we
rebuilt.
see another expansion?
And another power well.
Yeah, Firebot definitely with the more reactive play here. And Xander needs to hit something, because at the moment it is not looking good for its map presence or its attack.
He's focusing on this fight and somehow ignoring this army of Sunstriders here, apparently.
Yeah, this is the Sunstrider train. They have one goal and one goal only, which is the opponent's wall. Let's see the defense of Xander AI, and if a bazillion squads of Sunstriders are maybe actually able to kill an entire wall. Oh, it's switching to unit focus.
Oh, that might be a good idea, actually. Because it also reduces the incoming damage once they are the units are down.
Yeah, as I said, this attack, way too many Sunstriders, and those are actually able to focus out the units on top. I don't know what would help Xander AI, because Firebot is going ham in this match, having found itself again after being bothered in its base and now standing in front of the opponent and focusing down the monument.
Wow. And the monument goes down. But there it goes back up.
And it goes back down.
So it looks like Samurai actually programmed in to rebuild the tier 1. But it
Yeah,
costs
this was by
100 power every time.
far the most strategies we have seen by switching back and forth, different
unit
offense,
counters.
defense switches, and yeah, this concludes the match. Because I don't see any comeback for Xander, but Firebot showing what he's capable of. Not bad.
Does he focus the monument
By the
again,
way,
though?
we have a tier 3 tag coming from Firebot, which is awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think we can safely say to both creators of these bots, congratulations, your bots did play very well, switch strategies, tried to rebuild, tried walling, everything. GG, this was an awesome game.
This was, in fact, a really great game. So, in the end, this match ended with a 1-1 tie. That's interesting. So, then, Toggy, now I would let you decide. Do you want to see a game of Rust strategy, or should we skip that for now and go to round 3, Skylords Reborn versus Firebot?
I would think we play the tournament without the Rust bot.
And maybe go back to it in the end, right?
It should not take part in the standings, and then we could delay the games for later if we want that.
Alright, then let's go to Skylords Reborn versus Firebot. I think those might be some really entertaining games.
Yeah, Firebot came off really strong in that second game.
So
I'm really curious to see how it does. And I'm also really curious to see how it handles, how anyone handles aggression from the Rush B bot, which technically did not use the allowed card pool, but yeah.
Skylords Reborn, Shadow, Frost, 1. Okay, and we have another matchup. Let's go.
Next match, game on Skylords Reborn versus Firebot, and that should be a banger.
I don't know if I can. I try to, but now my game seems to be hanging. Where do I have game terminal? Yeah, okay, going to the options menu apparently crashed my game. I will just quickly restart it.
Yeah. Cubic elaborating again that we are free to use the bot. He just doesn't want to take part in the placements. So I don't mind seeing a bot of the Rust strategy later.
Alright.
A game of the bot later.
Yeah, actually I took a look at the example bot during testing, and it also had some really interesting strategies going on.
Ooh.
Okay, let's try now to increase the in-game global volume by a little bit. And go back to...
did you restart the bots properly?
Not yet. I will do that right now.
Perfect.
So it was Skylords Reborn and Firebot. So let's kill Firebot and restart. Same with Skylords Reborn. And go back in game. Choose a position, wait for Toggy.
Oh.
Fire,
yeah, that Toggy guy is a little slow sometimes.
Fire, deck, position 4. And Skylords Reborn, Shadow, Frost, position 1. Let's go. Yes, Ultralord, I do restart the bots after the games now, because apparently it seemed like some bots need that. Okay. Firebot versus Skylords Reborn. Shadow versus Fire.
So far so good. Skylords Reborn waiting near the power well. Let's see if it takes it or not. Of course, it was a slow start. It could do that.
Ooh,
and Firebot comfortably taking the first power well, while the opponent is still waiting. We don't know for what.
What do you think about Wrecker as a unit against Shadow Tier 1?
Due to it dying to Forsakens, of course, it's not a unit you should really fight with, but its ability, of course, is very good for attacks.
Alright, Tier 1 rallying banner, basically.
Exactly. And we have
But
one
against
power
the,
well each.
against the Dread Charger, it would be a good counter.
Exactly. And the Firebot, the Wrecker, is getting closer to the base. The sad thing is he's not using the ability, but rather just summoning some scavengers.
That would
But
be a smart ability use, actually.
we've got an attack on our hands.
Let's see what Skylords Reborn does. Thus far,
Taking
nothing.
power wells.
Oh, maybe it's another situation as against the Nomads.
It's pretty much just taking power wells and not reacting to its opponent, which is a bit problematic.
Architect writes in chat that it's only been the matches in the north thus far where the Skylords Reborn gets rushed. And he probably had some bug in his defensive code.
That is, of course, possible. And we will have another chance as the second game. Probably in about 40 seconds, since I don't see this coming up again against such a force. Firebot again reigning supreme.
Yeah, looks like there's no rebuilding of monuments going on. And Firebot just takes out all of the power wells and goes ahead 1-0 in this game.
Yes. Scavengers with wreckers. Pretty good combination if your opponent, especially if your opponent cannot build units. Let's see if the starting in the south can actually come up with a counter strategy to this.
But at least we already see that it's a good idea to do this double round robin where they start in the north once and in the south once.
Yes, absolutely.
So 1-0 for Firebot. Because otherwise these matches could be kind of boring and also luck based depending on do you start in the north and the south. But this obviously levels the playing field a bit. So this time with Skylords Reborn in the south and Firebot in the north. Ah, I forgot to restart the bots. We have to remake the group real quick.
Sure thing. We, of course, only want the bots in top quality, tip-top shape, and the best mood possible.
So, Alien Spectator. Let's choose a position for ourselves. Firebot in the north. Skylords Reborn in the south.
Did you remake the game?
Wait a second, I will just remake it real quick. So now you should be able to join. Should I invite you?
Perfect.
Okay. There we go. Skylords Reborn in the south this time around. Second game, Firebot versus Skylords Reborn. Let's go.
Let's do this. I would love to see him go tier 2 to show how strong the Lost Souls can be. But for that, it has to weather the first attack of Firebot. And this Wrecker Scavenger attack looked pretty strong in the last games it was deployed.
Let's see, will they both take a power well again? Firebot does, but it's not a power well that's next to a monument.
Yeah, Skylords Reborn, completely different strategy this time, running to the middle instead of waiting next to a power well. And
maybe this is due to some asymmetries in the map that from this orb to this power well is closer than this way, and here it's the other way around.
Maybe. And Firebot splitting his attack,
and
which
in
is
the meantime,
curious.
We see a typical split of one Dread Charger and then some Forsaken. And Thugs to counter it. We have some actual PvP gameplay going on.
It would have been a fair fight, or more of a fair fight, if Firebot would have utilized all its units, but one of its wreckers is straight going at the base, and base defense has kind of been a sore spot for Skylords Reborn. So let's see how this concludes, because just a thunder or two might already be enough to take this.
Oh, we see two thugs being played out at the same time. I didn't know this was possible. And we see some Tread Chargers to counter the thugs and the Forsaken coming back to counter the Wreckers, I would suppose.
Yeah, I'm not that sure why it utilizes thugs against monuments, especially since so many melee units, only so many melee units can attack one target. But yeah, the defense of Skylords Reborn looking sound here.
Probably Firebot is using the thugs as a counter towards the Forsaken, but then he's playing against the buildings instead. The monument is already going surprisingly low, but so are the
Yeah, but
Forsaken.
everything is on the verge of dying
The
for
thugs.
Firebot. This journey, or this attack, will be ending soon. Forsakens are pretty damn good.
And the final Wrecker also being destroyed.
Yeah, the double spawn is possible if you click very quickly, and the prior click more or less didn't resolve yet. It's just due to the game and the pings.
well.
Cubic surely could explain it, because I cannot, but it has been around since forever.
I have never seen this before, actually.
And yeah, that was a defense, and we have a game. Next attack by Firebot, taking the offensive, attacking the power well in the middle. And even Nox Troopers in the
wow.
mix. Yes, Skylords Reborn looking very, very comfortable once it gets past the first clash, with a good mix of units.
Nox Trooper obviously a good choice against the Scavengers, because they are not small units, but the Wreckers do hurt them quite a bit.
That is true.
And the thugs going for the Forsaken. Now what
Yeah,
would be some
Firebot is...
really next level micro is if these Forsaken would actually kite away these thugs, but I think this
Oh
is
my
really hard to
god.
program.
Yeah, but Firebot is looking very good in this fight. I don't think he will win, because it has the attacker's disadvantage. But Skylords Reborn, they both in tip-top shape here.
Actually,
And
some
this is
really
not
good unit
over.
choices.
Firebot is taking more and more of an advantage here. If he oh, never mind. Now fighting the Dread Chargers with thugs is, of course, not the best idea. And Skylords Reborn holds. Both
Wow.
players won power well. Slight power advantage probably to Skylords Reborn, who just took 2 or 3 fights where it was clearly better. And yeah, that should be translated into an economic advantage here soon.
And also really interesting to see that they all used 3 different units. They had Scavengers, Wreckers, and Thugs versus Forsaken, Tread Charger, and Nox Troopers. But here we see tier 2, Shadow Frost.
Oh boy, we actually see the Lost Souls. He just needs to hold this one attack. And is he still committing to tier 1 units? Because his tier 2 is up very soon.
What will it be? Tier 2 is up. Oh, Sunstriders. Oh, here we see the first Nightcrawler in the mix.
Finally, some tier 2 units are streaming in, and he's in urgent need of that. And yeah, Nightcrawlers demolish other medium units. Holy hell, is that a lot of damage.
Now he's actually in a position to recover some HP and then go in the offense. Or even go in the offense right away.
And yeah, I don't think the Firebot can hold this attack. The bigger question is, do we ever see these bugs frenzied? Will he go for the power well, or is he just ignoring the army and die?
Oh.
Alright.
Yeah, he was probably going for the monument, but these Sunstriders just caught him in the middle.
Yeah, monument focus, so hot right now.
Also really
Another
surprising.
really ugly display is Dark Elf Assassins against Sunstriders.
Ooh.
Oh my god, this will hurt.
Small counters versus medium counters. Obviously, the small counters have the upper hand in this fight.
Yeah, and a tier level between them. Yeah, this is just barely going to be the most unfair fight we will see for quite some time.
But we have some
Here
scavenger
it shows
helping him.
very well that the advantage in the tier level just makes for more cost-efficient trades.
That's
Doesn't
true.
matter the strength. Ooh. Interesting to see that the Skylords Reborn, this was the first time units actually pulled away from their opponents to attack more from a distance. So this was the first attempt of a micro we've seen. Ah, I mentioned this before, but what would I give to see a lava field here?
Lava field on eruption. Oh, Lost Reavers to fight the monument.
Yep, great reaction, immediately switching over the focus, and yeah, this is going to be cancelled. No way this gets through.
Unless he suddenly decides to not attack it anymore.
Unless there's a scavenger near my units, which is totally unacceptable, and we have to put an end to this nonsense at once.
And obviously Gladiatrix as L counter.
But it's still, its stats are really weak, so it's only good if it can attack from afar. And yep, that is one huge army for Skylords Reborn just begging to attack the opponent's base.
Let's see if the Firebot actually brought the Fire Sworn, because that would be a good counter against the Lost Reaver, especially now that power levels are quite high.
Yeah, without Fire Sworn, I don't think you can do anything really against the Lost Reaver. On tier 1, that is.
Oh, but there we have a Fire Sworn.
But there's actually one coming in, so I'm really impressed. These two bots switching unit compositions, going head to head. Yeah, there are some wonky decision making with the micro, but now it's regenerating its units, getting more power wells. Skylords Reborn shining in the mid game, if not in the early game, maybe.
Some good gameplay going on.
Next tier 2 attempt, which goes unpunished. Skylords Reborn a little passive at the moment. Kind of letting Firebot back into this game.
What is also really interesting to see is, because I have the console open on my second screen, I can always see which strategy the Firebot is trying to do, because it prints some log on the console. But Skylords Reborn is completely silent. It doesn't tell me what it's trying to do, so it's always a surprise to see what strategy will be coming up.
Yeah, this matchup has been pretty straightforward. Firebot wants aggression, while the Skylords Reborn is just taking as many power wells as possible, as long as it's comfortable with its situation. And oh boy, does it look comfortable now.
Maybe it's
this looks harmless, but these units are stacked up. There's a lot of units in this army.
Yeah, they are just all in the same position, but as you can see, there are multiple HP bars.
And now the Firebot as well, with 6 power wells, is even ahead by 1 well.
That's true.
Yeah, Skylords Reborn with a huge army though, needing to attack now, and it does, even getting insane reinforcements, and I have no idea how you would stop this without the utilizations of some wildfires, which he obviously does not use.
But he does decide to go tier 3. The question is, does it come up before this monument falls?
Oh, no, it probably won't. There's so many of these Lost Reavers and tier 3, not only very expensive, also kinda slow. If it goes up, then just barely. I don't know if it has the resources for a Juggernaut.
No, it did
barely not. Ah, story of my life. Losing a fight, going tier 3, not getting out the Juggernaut. I feel with this bot, but what should we do now?
I think that's also what the bots are asking themselves now. Oh, here we
Yeah,
see
the
another
Skylords
Gladiatrix.
Reborn not even trying to attack because it has the army to end the game. It just needs to decide that that would be a wise thing to do.
And now it is doing something.
Yeah, maybe it just had to do some quick calculations. Oh, maybe I should get rid of that base in front of my base first. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do this because Firebot is in a dire situation. It would need to take tier 3. Oh, never mind. It's going straight for the base monument.
But obviously Skylords Reborn with the much bigger army here. But Firebot has the defender's advantage and the L counters.
Okay, I have no idea what's going on here because Skylords Reborn is kinda a little indecisive in how to approach this fight. It still has the massively better and bigger army, but
It's probably too decisive. It's probably really specific about which unit it wants to attack instead of just attacking the closest one.
yeah, but as I said, it is way too big. This army is humongous, and as soon as he's just stopped controlling these units, they would go ham and everything would be falling.
And also if these Lost Reavers would activate their ability, probably all of the explosions of the little bugs would be enough to blow this entire base.
Well, at least it is a lot and really a lot of units. And yeah, I don't see any way to come back for the Firebot here. I've said that before, and there's always wonky shenanigans that could happen. But look at the sheer mass of units. Yeah, Fairbuy has a very good point. Maybe attack moves instead of pointed attacks, at least sometimes for if you have more than 3 to 4 melee units, because more cannot actually attack a single unit, would be really beneficial for the bot.
I think some bots actually implemented this because there was some talk about how to you actually implement this in the API during the programming phase.
And talking about Brave, look at the north. We have one Fire Swan saying, yo, I'm a large counter. Come here, yeah, 20 Lost Reavers. I've got a big gun. Let's call him Brave, because smart is different.
But he has a
And
friend.
we have a tier 3 by Skylords Rebot, and tier 3 should be the final nail in the coffin, as long as it, well, comes up.
That's a good point by Architects. You can't just do only the point clicks because then you will lose again in situations where you need some focus fire, and striking the real balance between that is really difficult. Oh,
Yeah, it's true. We also think of single unit control, but units are resummed into squads, which makes it very hard to give different commands. So,
tier
of
3
course, as
versus tier
always,
2.
there are a lot of intricacies here.
Intricacies
But with
and
tremors coming in, oh my god, this is looking dire for the Firebot. And while the reaction is good, a Gladiatrix is actually the right unit to battle this. There's only such a big army one Gladiatrix can battle, so if these Tremors ever decide to move north, this would be game.
Now let's see if he actually does that. Oh, he builds another power wall to heal up first.
Nice.
In theory, there are still enough monuments on the map that Firebot could also go tier 3 and try to do some cheesy Juggernaut tactics. But I don't
Yeah,
know
the only
if he would survive doing that.
Yeah, the only non-cheesy way to win here would be to go on the west side of the map, take tier 3, pump out a Juggernaut, and go ham on the monuments, because this army is not going to be beaten without spells.
Oh, and we see the panic defense. A wall going up, but obviously Tremors being tier 3 siege units, those walls are not going to stand for very long.
Yeah, I also don't know how much help 1 or even 5 squads of archers would be. Especially since going on top of the wall is a bit of a hard thing for Firebot. It doesn't like being on top of walls.
But Skylords Reborn also had some trouble attacking the wall right now. Can't really decide which wall segment it is.
And we have a
trying
flank
to
coming in from behind. Firebot with 3 Fire Swans going ham at these units, which is actually doing wonders here. Not that it should win, but this is actually looking really good.
It would be so good if these Tremors would use their ability, because then this entire wall would probably be already dead.
Oh my god. And the Lost Souls army runs in fear of the Fire Tier 1. Firebot living another day and taking this fight.
Wow.
Wow. Really, really impressive. The problem is, where do you actually go from here? You're Tier 1, and you're kind of ignoring the western part of the map, which is a shame. And yeah,
But now
you're
the
up
wall
against
is
Tier 3.
destroyed again. Panic defense mode is over.
Yeah, up until now, its panic defenses have worked out very well, actually.
And obviously Fire Swan doing a lot of damage against large units.
Yeah, just until those large units turn around and smack their face, but yeah. Skylords Reborn being very cautious, very careful here. Pretty much the only bot until now who does not like to go straight faces. But actually is playing economy.
That's a good question, Ultra Lord. You just ask what is happening.
Yeah, I would say this is the most exciting display of Tier 1 versus Tier 3 we had in quite a while.
That's true.
And there's probably no Tier 4 coming, but how do you actually win this as the Firebot? Because as soon as you hit an opponent's base, there will be repercussions and there will be defenses deployed.
You could hope for the Firebot to run out of Fire Swan charges. The question is, do you have enough Tremor charges until then?
Oh lord.
Or do you have
This cannot
maybe
be cost effective.
a second large unit, something like an Ashbound Pyro?
Yeah, there should be more Tier 3 units in. Not only the Tremor.
Panic defense
Even
coming
though
back
we
up.
don't know that. I think they should have a lot of slots due to not using spells or structures up until now. Yeah, the Tremors are splitting up and some are attacking the wall, but he's too indecisive. There's new commands issued every now and then, and yeah, the Tremors are retreating while getting just battered by these Fire Sworn again and again. And yeah, that is the most cost efficient I've seen Fire Swans ever been.
Oh, Silverwind Lancers. Change of tactics. And another
Finally.
power well. I don't think at this point power is an issue for any of these two participants.
Yeah,
But
retaking power wells with below 100 power wouldn't happen that often in a bot match, I thought, but yeah, here we see it. Mr. Emerze, hello there. Yes, this is Toggy reporting.
we see some Tremors attacking over here, some Tremors not attacking over there.
Yeah, we
Silverwind
have a
Lancers.
counterattack coming up from the Firebot, but it shouldn't be able to win against Tier 3. And as soon as these Tremors are actually just A-moving, we'll see a Slaughter coming up. And yeah, the base power wells are dry. The expansion power wells are getting low. 10 minutes are left. And in the end, the one with the bigger score would win, which still is Firebot. So Skylords Reborn actually has to win this by elimination. At least
he does have
from now.
4 power wells right now, while Firebot only has 1, so in the long term Skylords Reborn will out-economy him.
That is true. If the time runs out, the one with the bigger score wins, right?
Yeah, but right now probably Skylords Reborn has more power, so he could spend more and get a higher score.
Yeah, that is true. It should be able to overtake Firebot in the next 8 minutes easily.
So it waits until the army is healed back up again. And again, all of these units being very stacked together.
Yeah, I liked how before it had 3 Lost Reavers perfectly stacked on top of each other. They were essentially one-hitting everything, but we got another attack, this time with Silverwind Lancers, but without a ranged unit. That's something that was really obvious up until now. Ranged units are so much better once there are more than 3 squads. And Skylords Reborn is just not reacting well to this wall at all.
Just has to give some attack commands, but not too many, and then this should be game.
Any commands at all would be an improvement. I think it's broken.
No, it's not really broken. It's building more units, right? Or is it?
Yes, that's technically true, I guess.
Yeah,
The
there's
question
another tremor coming out.
is that actually helping? Well, it is helping to increase the score, which I admit is probably the thing it's going to get down to. Yeah, if you ever wanted to know what it looks like when Sunstriders kill Tremors, take a good look. You won't see it that early again.
And in the meantime, we see the panic defense just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, Firebot will eventually take out these units just because they're not fighting back, unless, of course, the opponent, which is Skylords Reborn, can summon them quicker. Never mind, we have an attack, and let's see how this...
And it stopped again.
Oh. Walls are scary. I admit it. Walls are very, very scary indeed.
It is probably because it's giving some attack commander to the monument, but there's this wall in the way, and so the units didn't know what to do.
Yeah, but 2 pieces of the wall are bashed in. It should be able to get in now. This might be the winning attack after all.
Oh, this one tremor being locked out. Let's hope this doesn't confuse it too much.
Yeah, I would say the tremor isn't locked out, it's locked in with them. And yeah, we have about 10 tremors in the opponent's base. If they would just attack the monument, this would be over. But I know this is way too easy. We have 5.5 more minutes of tremors dancing around walls and beating them in, because after that, the Skylords Reborn will win by score.
If the tremors would just all use their ability once, then the monument would be no more. Let's see, thus far, now it's getting attacked.
Oh my god, this is the best attack move I've seen in all the matches now. Every unit is attacking. We have units on the walls, on the units, and never mind, we're dancing again. And this might be it. The wall is being sold. It's abandoning. Firebot just abandoned the defense here because, well, there's nothing to defend anymore. And that should be the winning strike for Skylords Reborn after a long, drawn-out economy game, taking the map control, taking economy into account. And yeah, this is looking good.
Yeah.
No way to come back for Firebot since there's no monument nearby of the last power well.
Waiting a few more seconds and the game is over.
Yeah, respect to Skylords Reborn, who's a lot stronger in the south, it seems, than it is in the north.
And I would have to say this was a really interesting game throughout all of the tiers, with specific unit counters in tier 1 and also in tier 2, the Gladiatrix versus Lost Reaver, and even tier 3 strategies.
Yeah, GG's. Exciting to see how different the games could be. After the first one, I was kind of feeling that we only see tier 1 rush, but yeah, this is something entirely different.
And this match also ended in a draw, 1-1. And we're skipping this match for now, and now we have Firebot versus CS Rush B and Xtend AI versus Skylords Reborn. I would say let's start with Firebot versus CS Rush B.
Sure thing.
Um,
Keep in mind, folks, Rush B uses or utilizes a unit that was not really in the authorized card pool. We'll watch it play anyways,
and then
since
decide
the
in the
games
end
tend to
what
be
we are
short.
going to do about this. Okay, so I've restarted the bots, and now we should be able to create another game.
Thereby, I forgive you. You are allowed to have another deck next to Pure Fire, and in the end, I know you will be coming back. I don't know if I got in after or before the Firebot was added, just for information.
Yeah, let's just try. Maybe
Sure.
it will work. Are you ready? Okay, Firebot versus CS Rush B. Let's go.
Yeah, Rush B with a very sophisticated strategy of massing nomads and going ham. Very, very successful with that up until now.
Let's see if the Firebot is better at countering that strategy.
Well, if it can build a wall, which it has done in the past, nomads are basically countered. So if it reacts in time to build the wall, which is important because with enemy units nearby you can't build the wall anymore, it should be fine. And yeah, the good thing is nomads trample Sunstriders, so they don't actually care about them, but
But they are already getting low on health. Ooh, but now out of days. But here comes the panic defense wall, and
well,
okay,
I think this is as far as the bot was programmed, and as successful as it was in its first game, this is not looking successful anymore.
that's true. And we see more nomads in the south base, but if just a single wall will stop it, then this one power well will probably be already enough to outscale it.
Yeah, but what if we attack the base a second time? Won't that change everything, Metagross? I guess we will just try the to be sure, to be sure. Jesus, I wonder how many of those will even get there. No, everyone, but very low HP. He didn't build the wall!
Ooh, now it's getting dangerous.
Oh my god, and we have nomads on the monument. I repeat, there are nomads on the monument, but they were so low already, and the defense is there. Firebot got this.
The question is, when is there a critical mass of Sunstriders that no more nomads will actually reach the monument? And it's also a question of
I
which path the nomads take. Do they go to the west or the left, the east? If they would go to the east right now, then all of these Sunstriders would be out of the position.
Good point. Actually, if they would just pass the army and go via the eastern route, I think he might even be able to do this. But yeah, this is oh my god, this is like lambs to the butcher. Yeah, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, those are just dying. And good point by Kubik in chat. The rebuilding the wall actually has a cooldown, and probably the wall was still on cooldown while the nomads arrived.
Oh, so maybe immediately selling the wall, not the best decision. On the other hand, it was never close, so let's not judge on that too harshly, since the Firebot is in a demanding position here, and it demands one thing, which is victory.
Now we're seeing some scavengers thrown into the mix.
Probably due to the charges,
That could be a good point. Either
because
that
no
or
sane
because they have
person is
higher base
countering
damage.
nomads with scavengers. And Firebot again showing that its defense mode when its base is attacked, proving very, very useful. And in the counterattack, taking the base of its opponent.
And I do not think CS Rush B will be able to recover from that.
No. Summon all the nomads you want, which you can't. GG.
Alright, that's 1-0 for Firebot. And let's quickly restart the bots. This is the restart button, and here we have the restart over there. Okay, bots have been restarted. This can go away and create game, alien spectator. This time Rush B in the north and Firebot in the south. Right. CS Rush B versus Firebot, game 2. Let's go.
Yes. So up until now, we've only seen Fire and Shadow, right? There wasn't a Nature bot or Frost bot up until now, at least.
Not yet, there was only the Shadow Frost.
Yeah.
But actually, one of the example bots by Kubik uses a nature deck.
Mm,
So we can take a look at that later.
sure. And we have the signature rush of Rush B again with a Nomad, while Firebot is just getting some Sunstriders out and playing defense, which, of course, is the hard counter to Mars Nomads, especially if they only want to attack your building.
And here we see the defensive wall again.
Which
And the nomads
works
being
wonders,
frozen.
yeah. CS Rush B is not prepared to handle a wall. And Firebot, with basically picture perfect the same strategy, is easily taking the early game here, wins the fight, has a power well, and is marching north.
And I would guess that this match will probably be very similar to the first match we saw.
Yeah, I don't think that Rush B has another strategy or another approach. Yeah, Beanie.
Are you running something in chat? I actually don't have that open right now.
Oh, no, nothing too big, don't you worry. He made a comment about the bot must be Mongolian, since
okay.
with all its riders, it's getting hard countered by the wall of China. And the same scenario again, but this time it
so
seems
if we
like Firebot is
twist
a
the
little
camera-
further away.
You turn the camera upside down by 180 degrees, the match just looks exactly like the match before that.
Yeah, with a big difference being that Firebot is a little out of position, or has been out of position for this defense. So
And the
it
monument
actually
taking
has
some
got
damage.
a lot closer.
Question, will CS Rush B be able to kick it? Not quite.
Not quite, and Firebot actually rebuilds monuments, right?
Yeah, that's true. And it also
So
it's
it
also repairing
should
it.
not lose to this.
It's so weird to have the map upside down though, because the shadows are all pointing in the other direction. That's not
Yeah,
something...
that is. That looks so wrong. And here we see again the Mars Sunstriders just taking out all the nomads before they can get to the base, which basically spells the end for Mr. Rushby. And Firebot should take this convincingly and is looking really, really strong here.
Okay, let's put the camera back to normal. It's like those pictures where you see a face and the face looks very normal until you flip it upside down and then suddenly it looks really weird, right?
Yeah, that's true. You can tell something's weird, but you don't really know what it is. And the only thing wrong with this game is that it will take another 1 to 2 minutes before Firebot has completely dominated Rush B and we'll have the next match at hand.
By the way, Togi, did you know that there is a hidden mechanic within the Sunstriders?
Do you mean the +1 damage against buildings?
That's true. That's secretly a siege unit. It deals 12 damage against units, but 13 damage against buildings.
Yeah, that has been like that ever since, but at one patch they just decided to actually write it out, so Sunstrider's OP.
Alright, it's already written on there. I never noticed that. I always thought it was a hidden mechanic.
It has been for quite some time.
Alright, and with that, Firebot winning 2-0. This was here, and Firebot 2-0. Submit score.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's looking not too bad for Firebot here.
this is only the second game with a 2-0 score, and the other one was Skylords, was CS Rush B winning a game 2-0.
Yes.
Okay, next game will be Skylords Reborn versus Xander AI.
Yeah, both having a more economic approach, at least compared to these rush bots.
So
But let's find out who will
Let's
take the
restart
upper
that
hand.
as well.
Skylords Reborn's biggest weakness, of course, is the northern position, which has always been a little wonky.
So let's see if Xander AI actually can take advantage of that. AI at Skylords Reborn with Shadow Frost to position 1. And the other one was Xander AI with top deck to position 4. Okay, the bots are ready. I hope you are too. Skylords Reborn with Xander AI.
Absolutely.
Game 1, here we go.
So what is your bet? Who will win this?
This game? Hard
Yes.
to tell because of the bugs in the northern position for Skylords Reborn, but it had a really good performance in the game against the Firebot, so I would say that at least in the south position it is going to win. In the north position, I would say that's a coin toss, 50-50.
Very
Maybe
reasonable.
Xander AI, because Xander AI also did quite well against the Firebot.
Very reasonable approach. Let's see if Skylords Reborn is doing anything at all but taking power wells, because he seemed to ignore the opponent's units pretty much in the northern position, but at least it's attacking.
Now we have a fight on our hands.
Yeah, but it's not summoning any units, which just means it's going to lose.
And a
At least the
Wrecker,
first fight.
obviously a strong counter against the Tri-Charger.
And that is a pretty scary death ball by Xander AI.
And it looks like Skylords Reborn is not doing anything.
Oh, both are not doing anything right now, so let's see who comes out ahead and they're not doing anything.
Does Skylords Reborn have some defense mechanism?
Who's just marching to victory here.
Looks like there's no defense going on.
Yeah, the northern position, not the best for Skylords Reborn. So I guess the second match will show us how these two clash when it's actually a battle.
Alright, yeah, that's game 1 for you. With Xander AI beating Skylords Reborn. This also explains the scores in the mini tournaments. Just as an explanation, during the coding phase there were some mini tournaments once at the end of each month to have like the in-between versions of the bots fight it out. And Skylords Reborn always looked really promising in the replays, but it often didn't fare well in these tournaments, so it having a disadvantage on 50% of the games obviously explains a lot.
Yes. Northern positions really, really bad.
Xander AI going in the lead. And let's quickly restart the bots. Xander AI, restart. And where do we have Skylords Reborn? It's running over there. Also restart.
Beautiful. So with the second game, we'll actually see these two clash because that one was, of course, not representative for Skylords Reborn.
Architect is
And
asking
we'll
if there's
see
something in the
again.
logs. The problem is your bot doesn't really write anything on the console. I could take a look if there are some log files written somewhere, but right now I can't see anything. So this time Xander AI in the top and Skylords Reborn in the south. Okay, done. Xander AI versus Skylords Reborn. Game number 2. Let's go.
Yeah, I wonder if we again will have a very long drawn-out match. Because this time this is going to be a battle.
We see one Dread Charger versus a Scavenger, and again a Scavenger sitting in the back. As a backup. Oh, and an immediate wall by Xander AI. And as we've seen earlier,
Interesting.
Skylords Reborn has a hard time dealing with walls.
Yeah, but it
I think I've seen these two
basically
fight it out before during testing.
it caged its own scavenger by that.
That's true though.
And with these units in the north, of course, Skylords Reborn easily taking that first fight in the middle, and it probably will take the center, which means it has a wonderful position to, in the long run, get to a higher tier level and just show off these very, very strong Lost
Yeah.
Souls units.
Xander AI has over 200 power bound here with these units and the wall. So Skylords Reborn would probably also be free to take a monument without having to fear any consequences.
The big problem, if we remember correctly, Skylords Reborn wasn't that good at dealing with walls, so this might take another 20 plus minutes. We'll find out.
If I remember correctly, I've seen these bots played out during testing, and it was a really interesting game, but it also took quite some while for them to make any real progress.
Yeah, the big question is, can Xander AI even lower the wall or the gate near the wall? Because right now he's summoning melee units behind a wall.
That's true. Does he know how to open the wall? In the meantime, Skylords Reborn snowballing, getting more and more power.
Yeah, of course, taking the map, taking power wells is the correct choice here, especially if you think your opponent won't leave his base. And yeah, of course, on the long run, more power wells equals to more units, which equals to win.
Looks like for
But even
future games of
still,
Xander AI, we might have to do the speed up method. And again,
yeah,
these
let's see how long Skylords Reborn needs to take half of the map, go to tier 3 and win this game, because right now it's still very defensive. It could take more power wells and the power wells more quickly, because this is sadly pretty much lost by the wall.
And again, we see lots of Sunstriders being put on the wall.
And the tier 2's
2.
coming in.
The question is, can you push through that with tier 2? Might be difficult. Oh,
Probably not with tier 2.
if you were to...
With enough of well-attacking Lost Reavers, it might be possible, because these just don't deal a lot of damage against Lost Reavers, but I don't think so.
If you could use spells and maybe with an Aura of Corruption or something?
With spells, it won't be that hard, but
Without spells?
with only
It's a difficult
units, walls
question.
are pretty good.
Or just use some Shadow Phoenixes and crash them into all of these melee units. That would be juicy.
Oh, that would be perfect, yeah. That would be almost as good as seeing lava fields. I wonder what Skylords Reborn is doing now, because he stopped building power wells, at least for now.
He has 3 power worlds. Maybe he goes for tier 3, maybe...
Yeah, will he just
builds
take more
some more
bases?
units.
Is it going for tier 3? That's the big question, because both bots are rather passive now. Yep, more bases it is. Taking another location for possible tier 3. Taking more power wells. And yeah, this is just waiting to knock on the wall with tier 3 units. Because Xander AI is not moving out and waiting for the inevitable death push to happen.
What is he doing now? Is he trying to build another power well?
Yeah, he's just taking all the bases. All the bases all the time.
I wonder what he's using as a trigger to actually start building tier 3. Maybe it's a trigger in time, or as soon as he has a certain amount of power.
I guess when there's no threat, the bot switches to economy mode, and with a certain set of power and power wells present, he might try to go tier 3, but that's of course pure speculation. Fair by us. So what would you do in Xander's place here, Toggy? I probably get something to eat. Because this will take a while and I won't win anyways. Yeah, of course, getting Mars Thunderer or getting Mars Firesworn, ranged units in general, trying to attack different locations, but honestly, the entire map is lost to the opponent. You're in your base, just get a Big Mac and get it over with.
Oh, this was almost an attack?
Yeah, almost an attack.
Maybe he's trying to
Yeah, the
bait
good
him.
thing is he will have an awful lot of power very, very soon. So we will see units here. I can't. You have to build in your bot if you have more than 2,000 power, which is an awful lot. Just spam units and go ham. Come on, just do anything.
He's just going back and forth. Probably trying to wait for something until he can go for tier 3. Or maybe he's also stuck in the loop, like, oh, there's a wall I can attack. Oh, there are units on the wall, let's go back. Oh, there's a wall I can attack. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it can't go on forever. He always stopped and either went tier 3 or just got a huge
Oh,
army. And here we got the tier 3.
so was that after 7 minutes, maybe?
And that
Maybe
means
maybe he really just
Grandma's
has
knocking on the base very soon.
maybe really just has a time as an indicator on when to go tier 3. But the thing is, most of these power words haven't even paid out yet, so right now he
Yeah, but
isn't
they
even
will very soon.
probably down in power currently, but very soon this will change by a lot.
No, he's cooking. He got everything under control. It will be nice to see when this wall falls, how many tier 1 units are behind that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
those are already a lot of wreckers.
And again, I would love to see the tremor skills so much. Yeah, that's the
Or to see a
problem.
tremor at all.
Yeah, just right now he's still waiting for anything to happen. The bigger problem is you cannot make tier 3 or tech in general time sensitive. You need stuff to happen before that. And in general, that is having 2 additional power wells or having a void power that is 200 higher around that mark. So you know you can sacrifice power to economy, to tier level, and still be able to play cards. How you would implement that beats me, but just by time is of course not sufficient.
Maybe this is actually a case where we have run into a loop.
Yeah, at the moment nothing is happening. For the entire time, not a lot is happening, I admit, but I don't see any more additional power wells being taken. I don't see any units played, and in the top left, the units are just going back and forth while Xander is waiting. So we could be in a dead end here. Which would, by the way, mean that easily Skylords Reborn wins because he has the additional power.
But the question is, he is like ahead by 300 in score now, but if the Xander AI keeps building units in his own base, while Skylords Reborn does not, he will actually lose on score.
Remember, there is a maximum amount of units you can have at a time,
Right,
which
the
is
unit
never
limit.
a thing in PvP. Unless, of course, both players are just not responding, so I don't know which would happen first, or if that already has happened, because it's very hard to count these records when they are stacked on top of each
1, 2,
other.
3, 4 Sun Traders, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a million wreckers.
Cubic, actually, that sounds very tempting. The bigger problem is that since I'm self-employed, time has been very scarce, and I have way too many hobbies already. With sports, beer, Dungeons and Dragons, pub quizzes, and a job and a girlfriend. Yeah, I had to cut something, and streaming, or let's be honest, Skylords Reborn was the biggest time sink I had. It was also the biggest source of fun. I won't deny that. But one of the only things I could cut out without having really an impact on my real life.
Now the question
And
is,
if you try to get me back in, and I will have fun again, and I will do that again, ooh, I think something else would suffer. I do not want that to happen.
what do we do in this situation? Do we just want to wait this out, or alternatively, I could use the speed up method, so we can, but then we would have to restart that match, but then we could speed it up just like when you're watching a replay.
Yeah, I don't think we should watch all the rest of the barely 20 minutes because nothing would happen. At least nothing is happening at the moment. We could, of course. Yeah, I think the speed up method is the only thing that is actually saving us here.
Let's do this. So, which bots are actually playing right now? In the top it is Xander AI.
Yeah, the only question, to be honest, if we speed this up and nothing changes, is Xander overtaking Skylords Reborn in score before the match ends? Because they are not
Second one is
playing a normal
Skylords
match at the
Reborn.
moment.
Skylords Reborn. They're both an AI bot. Okay, let's do that. And where did I put my... There. Send AI. Let's put this in the replays folder. So, replays. And okay, let's just leave this match.
All right, so if anyone is not understanding what is going on here, we'll just basically start this from a replay and speed it up a lot. So we don't have to watch the last 18 minutes of this match not doing anything. Can I join this, or will you do this alone? Because I don't think I can spectate
I can
a
share
replay,
my
right?
screen with you on Discord if you want. So where do we have Toggy? Share your screen. Go live. Now you should be able to see this.
A lot.
Okay, looks like Sendai is broken and I have to restart it. Oh no. Why is it doing something different now?
Yeah,
Maybe...
let's see if this is actually the same game or if it's something different, because then we just have to either call it a draw or say that Skylords Reborn has won, because Xander just didn't do anything but stay in its own ways.
Yeah, but I mean, Skylords Reborn was also kind of stuck in the loop, so let's see how this turns out. Maybe we will end in a similar situation as just right now again.
All right, do we want to speed it up at least to ×2?
Yeah, we can do that. because we've seen this already. Skylords Reborn is going to kill this, and then very soon we will probably see a defensive wall by Xander. Or are we?
Skylords Reborn going in its signature, well, I'll get some Power Wells mode. While, yeah, the Xander is not really reacting.
I think there was an issue earlier with Xander AI with not restarting it, right? So I will just quickly exit this replay, restart the bots, and then... So restart this bot. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. But we would have to do this real quick. Okay, like that. And let's go back to the replay and see if this works now. Ah, now it's immediately. Okay.
Well,
this looks more like the first
looks
game.
better.
Yeah, this looks very similar to the first game with the 2 Nox Troopers versus the Scavenger, and we already see the defensive wall.
Yeah, there's the wall. This is basically the same. I'd say crank up the speed. We don't need to see him building all the power wells, at least to ×8. Or maybe even ×12. I think ×12 is the maximum.
I think it times 32 even.
Oh wow.
But
Okay, never mind.
It's limited to your computer speed. If your computer can't actually run the game on 32 times speed, it will be to something lower than that.
So let's see if we actually see a deviation. If there's a decisive attack. If you just get more power wells, which we are at the moment.
Yeah, this looks very similar to what we had before. Xander
Pretty much
defensive.
identical. Those are some very fast units. Oh, this time we have night crawlers.
That's interesting.
This time we actually get some units. But there's nothing happening with the units. Yeah.
But some more units are being produced and the wreckers are being sent against this wall on the left here.
Which is admittedly more than we've seen last game already.
That's true.
I would still say speed this up a tad, please. Because both bots basically destroyed by a wall. Sadly, one of them built it. And I do not think that there's anything else to be seen.
Maybe we fucked up Skylords Reborn a little bit, because if he said he had a hard limit of 7 minutes until he goes tier 3, maybe it's 7 real-life minutes and not 7 in-game minutes.
Which would actually be...
Depends on whether he uses real-time or in-game ticks. But in any case, this would mean we still have to wait quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't think that starting this a third or fourth time over, hoping to get a result, will be of much use. So honestly, just speed this baby up, and if nothing happens, either declare a draw or take the winner with a more score, which obviously is Skylords Reborn, since he actually has power.
Yes, he has a lot of power. He has over 1000 power, but is not really using it. Okay, Architect says
it was said earlier that
ticks.
With 300 power, there should be something of an attack move or summon units and go ham mode. But something is actually blocking this, which is maybe since he's trying to attack or might be trying to attack a monument behind a wall, that the units are just not doing anything.
I mean, we had that earlier in the last game where the Tremors was standing right in front of the wall, right?
Yeah, but then they could or were in range to do anything, and now we just have a stare off, which is, yeah. Well, which is something. Maybe you want to crank up the speed a little higher since, well, nothing is actually happening.
I mean, it almost looks like it's a score game where they're just trying to maximize their score by just building units mindlessly.
Hmm. Yep.
There's more Nightcrawlers and more Wreckers coming in all the time. Or is it even Scavengers? Or Wreckers and Scavengers? I think it's a mix of
It's
units this
Wreckers.
time. Okay, and also Nightcrawlers.
Oh, never mind. It's Scavengers. But yeah, this is not even close
But there's this
to a
wall standing in
competition
between them.
because the one player has the entire map while the other one has a wall. Yeah, this is the first time we had something of a loop between the bots, which is pretty remarkable because, yeah, this was actually really not too bad. But these two don't seem to harmonize that well with each other.
Yeah, looks like there's not really a change of strategy going on from any of those two.
Nope.
I hope Xander and Architecture both are fine with us declaring the Skylords Reborn the winner of this game, because that just won by score by a lot, and none of these bots really did seem to make an attempt to push, so... Oh, now we see tier 3. It probably is 7 real life minutes.
Well, that doesn't mean it's attacking. We had tier 3 in the last game already, right?
That's true as well, though. Will there be some change of strategy in the final 3 minutes? All power wells have run out. 3,854 energy waiting just for you to spend them. Lots of Nightcrawlers ready to attack.
All the power wells. Wow, this is just embarrassing. Having the power in your own hands to destroy the worlds and just taking a nap. That's what's happening here. But alright, naps are important. They really are.
Okay, but I don't think anything more will happen in this game.
Nope. We can crank up the speed for the last minute, but yep, this is
Yeah. And I think at that point, even if you would start attacking, it's questionable if 36 would be enough to...
Yeah.
Alright, so our first game decided by score, going towards the Skylords Reborn. And we have another tie. Interesting. So next game would be...
a lot of ties here. The starting position seems to make a bigger difference than I thought. Alright, who's our next game?
The next game will be CS Rush B versus Xander AI. They did not fight off against each other yet. So, Xander AI probably needs a restart again. And just for the sake of it, give a restart to CS Rush B as well, but I don't think this one really needs it. Okay, create game, Alien Spectator, choose a position. Which was it? It was Xander AI with top deck and position 1. And CS Rush B with the deck called D in position 4. Alright. Xander versus CS Rush B. Let's go. This could be interesting because Xander AI also built the wall, but CS Rush B, known for being really relentless in its pushing.
Yeah, I wonder if...
And the game crashed again.
Yep.
Okay.
If the wall comes up again from Xander, we might be in this weird position again where Xander is not doing anything but summoning units and CS Rush B is not doing anything but summoning units. But we will find that out in just a second.
And interestingly, the challenge automatically generated 10 rounds because the rematches are considered separate rounds. So this is already the last round where we are not doing, because in the next round we would already have CS Rush B versus Skylords Reborn again, but they already played the first round.
Oh, yeah, this is without rematches, right?
Yeah, because I think by then we will actually have all bots having played 2 games against each other.
Yep, that's what it looks like. So let's get this match on the road, shall we?
And then we can maybe even see how one of them fares against the Kubik example bot. Okay.
We could do that, yes.
Just to make sure, let's restart the bots again. Those are both the C# bots. Stop and rerun. Xander AI top deck position 1. And AI at CS Rush B. Make sure to type it correctly. With deck D in position 4. Let me take a look at the chat again so I don't miss anything. Okay. Kubik said maybe Xander AI will now remove the wall because the units are not that close to the wall again.
Yep, that's possible. We'll find that out in probably a minute when the nomads came knocking on the door.
Okay, Xander AI with Scavengers versus CS Rush B with Nomads.
Ah, yes, the nomad.
Xander AI, oh, the bite of the Scavenger already slowing down one of the Nomads. And obviously with...
Yeah, that is true, but...
And it even freezes the Nomad for some weird reason. I didn't know this ability could actually freeze units in place.
Yeah, probably he wanted to take the very famous nap for this tournament.
Ah, but here we already see a wall being built.
Yeah, Xander is not having any of this attacking bullshit, and he will definitely defend his base with a wall, and the nomads will wait in front of the wall.
Ah, that's
Now
right.
the big question is,
Probably this bot
Xander
this one
has
doesn't know
units
what to do
out.
because the wall is there.
Xander has units out, so if he does anything, which he does, the match should be going to him. But we'll find out. Oh, he's not even reacting to the attacks because he's just wanting to go ham on the monument. Which means that these wreckers will just march south and probably win the game. Interestingly enough, though, Xander's not selling the wall, and if he didn't have a unit out, it might have been problematic.
Him not deleting the wall is what was his downfall in the last game, but might be his saving grace in this game. Because as long as the wall is there, the nomads don't know what to do.
Yeah, they are just standing around taking the famous nap and hoping to wake up in a better world, which obviously they will. They're not even watching while their monument, their entire civilization is crumbling. Oh, nomads. That's why you're nomads, not wanting a base anyway, alright. Yeah, and this one goes pretty impressively to Xander AI.
That was a really quick one. Unless we see some surprise coming up which nobody anticipated. And this one...
I don't think so. As long as the wall stands, the nomads are beaten.
And just 35 seconds left. And the next time CS Rush B will be in the north and Xander in the south. We will see if this actually makes a difference. Alright, 1-0 for Xander. Let's go to Alien. And restart the bots real quick. Stop and rerun. Stop and rerun.
Alright.
Good, let's add back the bots. Now you will be position 1 and you will be position 4. Okay, let's go.
Yep. Unless something very unexpected happens, the wall will come up again. And yeah, walls have proven to be the downfall of CS Rush B in this tournament.
By the way, Togi, did you count the scores thus far and know who is ahead?
I think we only have one bot that actually decisively won while not losing. So it should be the fire bot, I think.
Might be, but we will see once this game is over where our score is at.
Yeah. And yep, here's the wall. Walls are evil and need to be removed because by praying to the god of the sun, I don't know, whatever they are doing while staring in the sky. Because Xander is having its wall up, is having its units out, and as soon as it decides to move on the map, this will be game.
Will we see some more nomads? Oh, we already see some nomads over here.
Yeah, but they won't
Standing
be moving.
around contemplating what to do.
Yeah. Playing a tournament? Nah, do a nap.
They're just there for the participation reward.
Problematic, to say the least. Problematic.
PvP bot tournament 2025, I was there.
On the other hand, if Xander takes this match 2-0, it might even be on par with Firebot.
This could be, I'm not entirely sure. He also played 1-1 against the Skylords Reborn. Question is, does he attack now? And
Yeah.
it looks like he does.
There we go. Onwards and to victory, and Xander is going ham. Yeah, there was a saying in the PvP community that basically went, to beat walls, you need to be at least silver rank or above, because otherwise you just have no idea what to do. And this is basically the equivalent of that.
And most importantly, to beat walls, don't play on large ash, because walls there are just stupid.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, we're playing on the map Elion, and I think that's a pretty balanced map overall. do have defensive walls, but no really oppressive offensive walls.
And yep, this is it. Xander is taking it home.
And winning this game, or this match, 2-0.
Yeah, now the bigger question is, how did Xander versus...
Versus the Firebot, how did that one go out? Let's see, one more power well.
Yeah, this is not getting close. Because power well's pretty good, but not good versus units.
So this is CS Rush B versus Xander AI is a 2-0 for Xander. Let's see. CS Rush B versus Skylords Reborn, we already had that match. Xander AI versus Firebot. Did we already have that? Did we already have Xander versus Firebot? Oh, we did have over here.
Yes. We have basically all the matches now. And
Okay,
it
so
seems like Firebot versus Xander, Firebot and Xander are the only bots that took home 2 wins.
yeah,
Or
should we maybe
wins without
just
losses.
give default losses to Rust strategy so the tournament actually knows what to do?
Yep, you can do this.
We just call those 0-0 ties. So it doesn't really change anything of
But
the
that
final
would mean
scores.
we actually have a tie. Because those two played to a tie.
And now the final standings are... Okay, it doesn't give us the final standings because the tournament is only halfway done. I will just put all the other ones as ties as well.
Yeah, the standings are visible though.
Are they? Do I just have to refresh the page?
You can click on standing and it would tell you that
Okay.
Firebot and Xander are both on
Both have 4
the
points.
first rank more or less because they have equal points. And even if you take the direct comparison, they played a draw, so that doesn't matter.
Oh,
and
wow.
that means those two
Would need some kind of tiebreaker.
Yep.
So, what kind of tiebreaker should we do? Should we maybe match both of them up against the Rust strategy bot and see who fares better against that?
We can do that. We could, of course, just let them play one more match because then we would have a winner.
We could
Which
also do that.
probably is the best idea.
I mean, then it would be probably a 1-1 again, or should we randomize the starting positions?
I would say randomize starting position and just one match for the win of the tournament and eternal glory.
Alright, so then how should we do this? Let's go to random.org. Verifying that you're a
You
human.
can flip a coin in Battleforge.
Ah, that's right, with /roll or something.
Exactly.
Okay, so
just do /roll2 and we'll either roll a 1 or a 2. And of course, beforehand, you would have to exclaim which position is which.
Alright, then let's say if it's a 1, then Firebot will be in the north. And if it's a 2, then Xander AI will be in the north. Do you agree?
Sure, why not?
Well, that's
I
only
don't think a
possible when we are
0 is
part of a group.
possible. If it's a 0, we'll just do it again.
You have to leave your group and join our group because I can only roll a die while I'm in a cube, in a group. Okay, so if it's a 1, then Firebot will be in the north, with a 2, Firebot in the south. The result was 0. Okay, it was 0, 1 or 2. Okay.
As I said, if it's a 0, we do it again.
Oh, okay. So then do another 2. Okay, another 0. Okay, now it's getting ridiculous.
I don't think it's still rolling.
Ah, now we have a 2, so Firebot in the south.
Is it? Ah, nice. And that means we'll have a deciding match between Firebot and Xander, who gave us a pretty awesome draw before with rushes, with map control, with tier 3.
That's
And
true.
whoever wins this match takes home the tournament. There we have our decider. And after that, if there's still time, if there's still fun, we can have a go against Cubic Spot,
So let's restart both bots.
whatever you want.
Stop and rerun. With the 0, it was Firebot in the south, right? It's probably the same match as again, but we will see. Maybe something weird will happen. /AI add Firebot Fire Tag 4 and AI add Standard AI top deck 1. Okay, that worked. So, deciding game for the Blaze 1. By the way, Ultralord, if you're still here, do you want to join us in the voice call and explain a little bit what your bot is doing while the game is going on? Maybe you can give us some insights into... Ah, that's true, there's a slight variation in ping, so maybe there's a little bit of a difference going on. So I'm just gonna open this window so I can see what the bots are thinking. So Ultralord, do you want to join us on stream or do you just want to watch? Okay. So he just wants to watch.
So onward to the final match of the
3,
tournament.
2, 1, let's go.
Yeah, in conclusion, I really must say, before we have this match running, the bots were pretty cool to see. There were differences, there were problems, of course. And now I just want to see Xander versus Firebot smashing their skulls in. It's Fire Tier 1 versus Fire Tier 1. Who would have thought? Let's do this.
And we see a second power well for the Firebot, but none yet for the Xander AI. And this match was so far in the past, I don't actually remember what the result was. So let's see about that. If Xander AI actually manages to punch through the wall.
Yeah, Firebot taking the better fight here, having all its army in one place. And that means we'll have a good position for Firebot, since, if you remember correctly, Xander is now building a wall and might not really move out again. If that's the case, it would be a little sad, because without this walling problem, it actually looked really, really good.
This might be Architect. This might have been the game where at some point Xander AI started a counter attack, but then the panic defense triggered and a counter attack from the Firebot came.
Yep.
Okay, but we see units being placed outside of the wall this time instead of inside.
Yeah, that is actually pretty good. Probably yes. Ultra Lord.
We could also just watch it like that, and then it looks like an entire different game this time around.
And
No,
yeah, as we said before, the Enforcers way too good against other medium units.
Eating up those
And
Skylords.
this will take a long time now to bang on this wall, even with the Fire Dancers. And in the end, of course, having a better position on the map, having the additional power wells, the tier level, makes such a huge difference.
But again, with the bots, the question is, can it actually capitalize on that advantage?
Yeah, and again we have the archers on the wall being pretty darn good against fire, against anything running on that wall.
Like Scavenger biting the Fire Dancer. And some Siphons coming in to help her out. But they get shot down by the Sunstriders. And this Fire Dancer is no more.
Yeah, Xander might have the opportunity to take something on the map now. Maybe Powerwell. But the enforcers from the middle are coming in, are streaming. And yeah, they make short work of everything but Sunstriders here. And there are no Sunstriders in this army. They're only in the base.
And this might be the game where charges became a problem
Yes.
later on.
I admit this is much more similar than I thought it would be. And we see basically how Firebot is trying to bang its head on this wall while not really achieving much. Funnily enough, he is not yet repairing the wall, which should happen after this attack.
But I mean, there are sometimes just tiny differences like this. And maybe they actually do have an impact on the final result of the game.
Yep. And yeah, here comes the repair. We're having the two fire dancers. Of course, not the best units if you want to actually attack units. Small units with a knockback is alright, but the damage is just in general rather low unless they can make use of their siege ability, which increases the damage against buildings.
But I mean, we've probably all been there in the past to use Fire Dancers against small units.
Oh, doesn't work that bad.
Just to see them flying
It's
around.
alright. And yeah, here we have this back and forth. As before, Firebot just in a way stronger position, so it will be kinda hard for Xander to do anything here. And we have to say, he is trying to summon units outside, he is trying to move out, he's trying to counter, but the bigger question is always, how much can you actually do?
Especially with two power wells behind. This power well already generate 25, this already is 70 power.
Yeah, and you have the tier advantage, so whatever you do, you won't actually be trading cost effective unless, of course, he runs into your wall.
And Fire Dancer keeps on focusing the fortification wall. Looks like Zendaya actually does know how to open doors.
No, he does. He just chose actively not to, apparently, in the last games.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe
I
he
see
also wanted not to move out and attack a unit, but rather immediately attack something he couldn't reach, so... Yep. Happens, I guess.
And we see Siphons again, which would be a great choice if these Sunstriders would be on the ground, but they are on the wall. And these Siphons
Walls? Pretty good, yeah.
don't really know what to do. But I think this match can be seen as a metaphor for life. If at some point the AI overlords come to attack the humans, just hide behind the wall.
Just like behind the wall. I will think about that.
And
Maybe
here
I
we see a
remember.
counterattack with lots of wreckers. Obviously, Enforcer is a good choice against that, but those are so many wreckers. We don't see a lot
Oh,
of
yeah. Oh yeah, some spells would have really spiced this up. I would have loved to see. I mean, there are pretty easy variables to determine when a spell is 100% effective. Like, for example, it's with the Eruption, if you hit 3 targets fully, even though that's kind of hard to say if it's hit fully, even especially for small squads, where you don't do full damage if you don't hit every unit, then the spell might be really good. On the other hand, just spam the Lava Field. Lava Field's awesome, can hit so many units.
Actually, in the
I
very
really
first
wonder.
version of the bot AI, I also tried to come up with a strategy, and the bot that I ended up with was also very basic. It was just a spam of Swift Claws in nature, which activated their ability, and I always looked when the combined health of them was low enough to do a heal, and then I just spammed Surge of Light. But I don't think that bot was any good either. I think these bots are already much more sophisticated.
Alright. Yeah. Yeah, since I have no idea about how to implement AI or how to implement commands, not call it just AI, you always come up with very simple tasks. But in the end, you know, they have to be flawed. I mean, there are so many different situations, so much you have to account for. Or you end up with Rush B, which was admittedly had a strong start and was pretty fun to watch in some games, but just being shut down by a wall, of course,
That's true.
is not what you want.
And here the thugs coming in just in time, because at this point it looks like the firebot almost comes through. But
Yeah,
now,
and then
of
the
course,
gigantic army of thugs saying, nope, you don't get through here. And is probably starting the huge counterattack to the south. And yeah,
we
it
have
turns
some side
out,
fiends.
even against Scythe Fiends, thugs in superior numbers, not too bad. But yeah, they're already taking so much damage due to their shared ability.
Fairby asked if we will do a PvP match, or maybe one of us versus the bots afterwards, and we could do that, like
Ooh.
human versus the best AI or so.
Oh, we can do that, no problem. But of course, it wouldn't change. It wouldn't change the tournament.
It would just be for fun in the end.
Absolutely, we can do that. To see if the Matrix is already here and the machine overlords got us. But yeah.
What would also be very interesting would be the creator of one of the bots versus their own creation. And when's the break-even point that they can't be their own bot anymore?
Yeah. I mean, we had, luckily, we of course could take the samples, we could analyze, and we've seen walls surprisingly good against bots.
Okay, so looks like
And the
some
base is
side fiends just
falling.
before the base has been killed. And probably the firebot now tries to somehow... Oh, now it's in panic defense mode.
And here comes the wall, here come the archers.
Ah, right. Where they run around like headless chicken.
Kinda do, yes.
Question is, does one of them stay on the wall again? Because that one was able to take down the thugs afterwards. But the thugs are also not attacking the wall, right? So it's only the monument right now putting in some work.
And even if they only attack one part of it, so somewhat in the future there will be archers. There will be archers on the wall, even if it's just 1 or 2.
Oh, and there's also a second orb built back up by Firebot. It's interesting that you
Yes.
see these just tiny differences in ping make actually the difference that there's now no Sunstrider on this wall.
Yep, that is admittedly a difference. Firebot is reacting a little differently to this attack, and Xander
Ah, no.
didn't spread out its units that wide last time. The big question is, how long will it take until this is down when there's barely anyone attacking? Well, now we have at least one squad fixed on the walls.
Yeah, but the orb will kill them, but just very slowly because they have their gang up ability. But currently, time is ticking in favor of the Firebot because it's still up by 1 power well.
Yeah, of course.
It's just so funny to see because, like, if you were to try to do this kind of dance with your unit as a human, like, that's impossible. You can't micro that fast, but
Yeah, no chance. Not that many units all at once.
for the bot,
But
it's super easy, but tell the bot to put a unit on the wall and leave it up there. Alright, panic defense mode is over.
and we have the big counterattack with the Sunstriders. They're marching. They are not out there for fun. And I don't think that this is actually holdable. Which would mean that Firebot is on its way to victory here. And that Firebot is taking this.
Really looks like it. And the
Yeah, here
armies
comes the big march.
fire
And
archers
the
almost at the
big
wall.
difference, ranged units, of course, can target units on walls. So these archers, not as impossible to kill as it would be for enforcers. And here we go. The attack, the switch, and we have so many of these Sunstriders ready in position to wreak havoc on Xander's army. And with that, Firebot on its march to victory, unstoppable with endless streams of Sunstriders. A Sphinx maneuver, taking down the walls, and
And even
soon
against the
taking
defender's
down
advantage.
the orb.
Alright, and now the orb is getting attacked directly.
Yeah, Xander, on the other hand, not really doing anything anymore. Seems... here come units, never mind. He will not give up easily, but in the end, the opponent is way too big, way too strong, and has an energy advantage.
And even a tier 3 now. So will we still see a Juggernaut?
Ooh, the tier 3 coming up is new. And
Do we
I'm
actually
pretty
see
sure
any
he
tier
has
3
the
units?
energy. But I'm not even sure if he still has slots in its units, because that is an awful big army.
That's right, you can only have 20 Sunstriders at a time, because otherwise it will be blocked by unit limit.
Yep.
But here we go.
And that's it. Firebot
GG.
taking the tournament. Beautiful performance, defense, offense, everything. And of course, pure fire. If there would only have been an eruption, it would have been even better.
So now the question is, what do we now want to do? Now do you want to play a game against human versus bot? Or alternatively, we could do something like the Firebot versus the Rust example bot.
Yeah, why don't we have the Firebot versus the Rust example bot
All
to
right,
show every bot on the stream at last, and then it's a wrap, I would say.
all right, then let's kill this bot. So I don't
But
have too much stuff.
congratulations to the creator of Firebot. That was an awesome display. We've seen a lot from defense to offense, as I said before. And yeah, that was a pretty cool and consistent experience. And the panic mode switch to attack has won some games here. Pretty good.
All right, then let's do a final match. Firebot versus the Rust strategy bot. Congratulations to Ultralord, who was the author of the Firebot. And now let's see AI add Rust strategy. What is it called again? Gifted Flora or something? Flora position 1. Yeah, and you already see it's a pure nature deck with Mo in there. So,
Ooh.
I've actually tested those bots also in the testing phase against each other, and this match was quite interesting. Let's see if it actually is that interesting again.
Yeah, and Mo is actually in the pure nature deck, so this is all allowed. This is all okay. And let's see who has the upper hand. The winner of the tournament of the AI contest. Or the Rust strategy bot.
Okay, we have a Swiftclaw versus Sunstriders. Very interesting choice. Obviously, first time we're seeing nature today. And Sunstriders are an M counter, so they are efficient against the Swiftclaw, but they can be hurricaned around. If the Rust bot tries
using
to...
a spell. That would be something in this tournament. Oh, please don't take that power well anymore. Oh, never mind.
A monument and a wall. And Rust strategy just whispered to me spikes. Interesting. Ah, because it activated the ability of the Swiftclaw to put out the spikes. We already have an imbalance of tier 2 versus extra power well. And some Windweavers coming in for defense.
Yeah, but he should be targeting them down, which he at the moment is not doing. Interesting.
But he's attacking the wall, but now the wall can't be mounted anymore. But of course the Windweavers just using the next wall segment. That's a good move.
So both are on tier 2. One power well on one power well advantage for Firebot. And we'll have a pretty much instant tier 2 battle here with just this little skirmish on the wall. Now it's the big question, will he bang his head on this wall or will we see something different? Because...
and a Triad.
Yeah, walls have been the Achilles heel of some of the bots now. And cool unit composition, tier 1 and... Oh, it's only tier 1 up until now.
Yeah, but I think later on we will also see some tier 2 units by the nature bot. But right now it's just in a waiting game.
Removing the wall, and I guess he's moving out now.
Switches back to Swiftclaw to speed mode. Trying to go somewhere else, maybe to get another power well, and in the meantime, Siphon's coming in for attack.
Which of course are the correct counter to Windweavers.
And these ones rushing after the Swiftclaw, but Swiftclaw obviously strong.
The sleep is so good.
Oh, and the Riot uses CC.
Yeah, I must admit this is... Of course, it could have been attacked during the sleep.
Oh, and
but yeah, Rust strategy is looking a lot more sophisticated in its decision making. At least up until now.
Can it also fight well? It's not using the active ability of the Swiftclaw right now. And the Swiftclaw gets knocked out.
Yeah, over there it was a losing battle. Maybe it's even smarter to not invest into that. But yeah. And here comes the Burrower. For base defense. Interesting choice.
Oh, really? It's using a Burrow now. Probably because it's tier 2 and it's the Swift tier 2 unit.
And we have an attack on the wall. Walls, as we said before, the Achilles heel of most of the bots. But there's also not that big of a defense force up until now.
And this Burrow is waiting there, maybe, to get some tier 3 up.
And yet the big problem is, if you stick the army of Rust strategy, there are still 2 Windweavers, which are actually quite expensive, on the power wells doing nothing. And on the west, also the Burrower not doing anything, while...
It's like 200 power bound in doing nothing.
While the Firebot is just going ham with all of its units, and that looks like a very, very tough fight to defend.
That's interesting, because the last time I had these bots play against each other, it looked different. Or was it maybe Xander AI versus the Rust strategy bot? No, I think it was the Firebot.
But yeah, Firebot with decisive action and decisive aggression, going to tier 2, not banging its head on the wall this time too much, or not too much. It's looking really, really good here.
Question is, what will the Rust strategy bot do now? It does still have a monument over here, and a borrower which looks like he wants to take a tier 2 over there. But obviously now behind 3 permanent
Yeah,
buildings.
Firebot looked phenomenal in this match. Decision making, attacking the base, not the wall anymore. Yeah, this is a very, very strong position for it.
But here, another tier 2 for the nature bot. Question is, can it do anything with it? Here we see 2 siege units fighting it out against each other. And another defensive wall. Is this being attacked or is it being ignored? That's the question. It's being ignored for now.
Yeah, but he's down to tier 1. Oh, never mind. He's rebuilding tier 2. What is going on? Rust strategy is actually trying to activate some burrower here that was in sleeper mode. But there are so many siege units are coming up, and this is just will be a tough battle to grind back through. Let's put it like this.
Oh, Rust strategy even standing here as if it wants to go tier 3. Question is, does it get enough power out of this one single power well?
I doubt it. Especially with a Fire Dancer picking the one-on-one fight against the Burrower, which it should lose.
Now we see the Wind Weavers over here. Oh. Had a Fire Dancer attacking, but the Burrower just has slightly better stats and wins this trade.
Yeah, playing defense is working a lot better, of course, if your opponent does not have access to Fire Dancers, which are one of the best siege units on tier 2, if not the best. And therefore, these Fire Dancers are demolishing monument after monument, which means you're running out of power. Oh god, it is just beautiful to see fire dancers attacking power wells. Ah, I missed it a little bit. Going north again.
Question is, will there be another monument? Doesn't look like it. Probably these borrowers are in for a tough time.
Yeah, at this point in time, Rust Reggie lost way too many buildings. This is fatal in the end because he's barely getting any energy from the void pool back, since power wells and monuments.
Oh, but now he split the army using the wall.
Drain that pool pretty quickly if you lose them.
But now there's a hole in the wall and tries to rebuild another power wall, but this one will take ages to pay off.
Yeah, and there's a huge army marching, and Firebot, not without reason, taking the tournament, is marching on its way to victory to the west. It has been a pretty nice game. There were different approaches. After losing the first fight with more aggression to another base, but yeah, Firebot, and of course I must be honest, Enforcers and Fire Dancers, just a beast to deal with pretty much everything as long as it's not in the air. We didn't see a single air unit. I wonder how easily people would just have won with mass mana wings threat.
That's a good question, or even against Skyfire Drakes.
And GG, Firebot taking it.
Deserved
Very,
win.
very strong performance by the bot.
Alright, do you want to finish it off with a human versus bot game?
Sure, why not? Let's try this one time.
Okay, so now it's a long time since we've seen Togi actually playing any PvP on stream. So
I guess it was more than 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago. And yes, that might have been not entirely, but pretty much the last time I've even played the game. But of
alright.
course, it's not fair. I know all the weak points of the bot now.
Well, let's see if you still got it. Let's
All
go.
right, for the last match of the day, me versus the fire bot. Let's try this.
And Fairbuy bets 100 gold that the Firebot will win.
Oh, mild shock.
Okay, and we see Firebot playing Thugs in the south versus Sunstriders in the north.
Yeah,
Oh.
I took. I definitely wanted to play Sunstriders. I not at all just took the free PvP deck and didn't rearrange the hotkeys where I would usually have them. But alright. And Firebot ahead in economy. Oh my god, he has his power well up before I do. What should I do?
Yeah. Already gaining some power and having the better units on the field for trades. Togi copies the power well and plays some scavengers, which would be the right choice against the thugs. Oh, there are
We
some.
do remember the weak point of this spot, right?
Oh, right. Humans can use spells.
Humans can use spells. And therefore, this match was never a match to begin with.
That's a good point. Maybe if the Firebot would just bait you into playing bad eruptions, that would be a different story.
It was actually a bad eruption since I didn't hit the wrecker since he was still building or just entering the map.
Right.
But yeah, as you can see, he is completely ignoring these little Sunstriders. So
just kiting him around.
I mean, I can do this forever and get my power wells up behind this.
Ooh, this is a risky move. 3 power wells?
It would be risky if he would actually be fighting back.
But I mean, at that point, you're just hoping that he's really stuck in this loop.
The scavenger took another hit.
Oh, now some undazed units coming out from Togi. With the defender's advantage, he's looks like to be in a good position.
Yeah, this is the bot tried. Let's put it like this. The bot tried.
Let's see what he's gonna do. The reaction now. And also let's see what Togi is doing. Is he going to 2? Is he rushing? Is he waiting for his units to heal up? We see more wreckers. This counters against the scavenger probably.
Yeah, the big problem with melee units against fire is that the scavenger can slow units down and then there's not a lot happening from them anymore.
That's true. Oh, and the Thunderers. We haven't seen them in the entire tournament.
Yep. I mean, they're easily countered by Fire Swan, right?
And there come the Fire Swan.
That means, of course, if the Fire Swans are where the Thunderers are. Because that is probably the biggest weakness or obvious weakness of the bots, which was mobility. Since they, most of the time, did not micro their units at all.
Yeah. And this looks very bad for the Firebot.
Like pretty much I'm doing right now. But I think I've put on enough damage at this point to not really care too much about this anymore.
Yeah, somehow the bot did not go into panic defense mode this time around.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I thought he would be going for a wall, but I also wasn't sure if he had the resources after spamming the fire swans, because those
Maybe
are
the fire
expensive.
swan overrides the panic defense. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know how this bot actually works. All that I know is that I must kill. And at this point, we just stay ready for the eventual fire swan. But yeah, this is the rep.
Yeah, this looks like GG. Ah, the magic number is 3 units, and there were only 2 units attacking, so no panic defense. That makes sense.
Ooh. That is, of course, problematic if the opponent plays under us, but usually those are easily countered by fire swans.
Alright, GG.
And GG.
Good games to all the bots and all the developers of the bots.
Yeah,
So,
that was a really cool event. Thank you so much for having me. I must say, I got a little bit this ache in my heart to play this game again.
well, I mean,
Let's see if I'll have a few maps in the future. But yeah, up until now, I had a lot of fun casting this with you. Thank you so much. I think the contest was a pretty cool idea, and it showed that some people really put the work in. So, pretty
yeah,
cool event, and thank you so much for having me.
it's really impressive to see what strategies they came up with, considering that just a year ago these bots only knew how to do master archers and nothing more. And yeah, what do you think are the biggest points of improvement left for the bot developers for their next adventures?
I guess using spells might be super effective since playing against spells is hard. You need micro, you need to count a lot of circles. And doing the count, hey, I want to heal that many hit points, then do it across 3 or 4 units, or just like the eruption, if it hits max targets, do it on small units, not on medium ones, or if you can finish one off. That shouldn't not be too hard to implement. The utilizations of spells is probably the first point that you should look at.
Yeah, I also think like if you can use spells, either like really good eruptions or heals, or even something like Skyfire Drake with Ravage, lava fields and stuff like that, this would be already a really big deal. But we will see what the people will come up with, because the bot programming API will obviously stay available, and we will probably continue to do these monthly mini tournaments, like without a streamer and stuff like that. They will just be hosted by Kubik, and then afterwards the replays will be collected. Yes, but so I'm interested to see how many people will keep on working on their bots, and to see what these bots will be able to do in the future. But for now, thank you all for joining, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all at some point again in the future. Torgi, do you have any final words left?
Well, the final words would be thanks so much for having me. This game just brings back so many memories. I love to see the community going strong, still having events. And it was also very nice to talk to some of the old people. So thank you so much for having me, Metagross.
Thanks for
And
being here.
to everyone, just enjoy this beautiful game that the devs have given us again.
All right. And with that, let's go over to OBS, and we even have the screen. Thank you everyone for being here, and have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.
Bye bye.